Well, folks, it must be really, really nice to be an ex-Democrat president because you got like a $100 million deal from Netflix to make absolute crap. Barack Obama is now doing a new series where he talks to people who work for a living. It's really exciting. It's a Netflix documentary. Now, again, it must be wonderful to be a former Democratic president because you can have lit the world on fire and then, just left. And you get a $100 million deal from Netflix. So now he has a new Netflix documentary called Working, What We Do All Day. Well, not him. I mean, he's, in Martha's Vineyard. But Working, What We Do All Day. So CNN has a new trailer. Here we go.
We may not think about it, but we're all a part of something larger than any single one of us. And our work is one of the forces that connects us.
It looks crazy downtown.
Good morning, the kids. How to tell me assist you?
A revolution
wow, Barack
is
Obama's going
happening
to talk
right
with like
before
the
our
real
eyes.
people.
What happens if they replace you with a machine?
Artificial intelligence, remote work, spiraling inequality. It can be hard to make sense of where we're going. What if people from 3 different industries, from the service entrance to the C-suite, invited us into their lives and told us, what makes a good job good?
I just want to be at home. My refrigerator is
We work to
full,
provide.
my bills is paid.
Wow.
That's peace.
When you have it all, what responsibility do you have to other people?
What comes from people should go back to people
here we go.
multiple times over.
I got a jam coming. I can hear it.
They don't believe in working a 9 to 5.
Oh,
like
he's
we
so cool,
do.
man.
Money
He's so
is
cool.
not a motive.
Sure, he wrecked the country, but he's cool.
I'm working 9 more years. And
What
I'm
responsibility do we have to other
done.
people?
What
We have the
about your
responsibility to
wife?
steal other people's
Oh,
money
you'll
and
be
then
working
give
there
it
forever.
around.
Forget about it.
Working, what we do all day. Not if Barack Obama had his way, or the Democratic Party. They are literally attempting right now, as we speak, to remove work requirements from welfare bills. This is what they do. Because again, it's going to be fascinating. Honestly, I'll be interested to watch what his case is. Is his case that we should not be working? That work is bad? Or is his case that work is good? And why does it provide us meaning? Because if he gets into that, then he might have to get into things like family structure. He might have to get into things like community and religious meaning. I don't think this is the direction in which this is going to go. I think this is going to go in a very Bernie Sanders direction, in which is all about the evils of your employers. We'll get to that in just 1 second. First, we recently celebrated the 75th anniversary of Israel's independence. Coincidentally, the International Fellowship of Christians and Jews is also celebrating 40 years of ministry. Today, thousands of Jews, both in Israel and in war-torn Ukraine, struggle to survive life-threatening crises, including extreme poverty, hunger, and violence in the form of conflict, anti-Semitism, and terrorism. Among these vulnerable populations are tens of thousands of Holocaust survivors and elderly Jews who aren't going to survive without basic needs. Have you ever met a Holocaust survivor? I mean, you talk about people who have gone through the ringer. If you're a Holocaust survivor and you live in Ukraine, this means that you went through the ringer with the Holocaust, and then you were occupied by the Soviets under Joseph Stalin. And then you've lived through several wars with Russia, and now you might not have food. So if you can help them out, why not? With just $40, you can provide one person with an emergency food box and hot meals for 1 week. Today, we have a special matching opportunity where your gift will double in impact. A $40 gift becomes an $80 gift. A $100 gift becomes a $200 gift. Go to benforthefellowship.org or call 800-331-3737 to rush an emergency food box today. Your special gift will double in impact to provide those in need with twice as much nourishment. That's benforthefellowship.org or call 800-331-3737. You know about the big cell phone wireless companies out there. They lock you into bad contracts. If you try to get out of them early, they tack on the outrageous charges. You don't need that in this economic climate. This is why I made the switch to Pure Talk. There are no hidden fees, no contracts, no hassle. Pure Talk has a range of affordable cell phone plans to choose from. You can find the perfect option for your needs, like unlimited talk, text, plenty of data for just $30 a month. Pure Talk saves the average family over $900 per year. Think about what you could do with that money. Hey, when I need to call a friend because, I want to nerd out over TV or something, I need my cell phone actually working. And that's particularly true when I'm talking about not nerddom, but actual business calls. I use Pure Talk for all my business calls. You're not going to get the cheap, inconsistent service with Pure Talk. You get the same coverage you're used to at half the rate you're currently paying. I use Pure Talk. Their 5G service is really fast. It doesn't drop my calls. Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team helped me make the switch in as little as 10 minutes. I was even able to keep my cell phone number. Not only will this save you money, you'll also get the satisfaction of knowing that you're helping to support a great American company because the CEO and chairman of Pure Talk is a military veteran. And when you become a Pure Talk customer, you're given the option to support America's Warrior Partnership. Go to puretalk.com, enter promo code Shapiro, save 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code Shapiro. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless. And that brings us to today's episode of Good Trump, Bad Trump.
Good Trump, bad Trump, which one will we get today?
Okay, so we begin today with, yes, some good Trump. Yay, good Trump. It's always fun when you get a little bit of good Trump. So yesterday, Trump did a rally. The most trafficked part of his rally is where he did his routine imitating a female weightlifter trying to pick up a weight and then a male lifter trying to pick up the weight. went viral because it was taken out of context to suggest physical actions of a different kind and so on. But the good Trump part of this rally is in Manchester, New Hampshire, is where he mocked Joe Biden for not being able to take questions, which of course is a pretty rich vein for attack.
Now you have a whole little time to think about it, but we'll take a few questions, okay? You think Biden takes questions? I don't think so. I don't think so. You saw yesterday he had the cue card. He said, call this one. This is what she's going to ask, and here's the answer. They never did that with me in the White House, I can tell you.
Fact check true. He also said, we are going to settle unfinished business. Now, again, this is going to be the pitch. This is sort of medium Trump, right? Again, I think best Trump is my agenda while I was president was way better than Joe Biden's agenda. We were way more successful than Joe Biden. Joe Biden is a failure on every front. And that was being hampered by the media and being hampered by the deep state. Put me back in and you will get something better than you have right now. That is the best form of Donald Trump. And I'm standing in the way of the predations that Joe Biden wishes to visit upon you, right? That's his actual campaign. We're going to settle unfinished business stuff. It's kind of smacks of 2020 election nonsense. And I don't think that is particularly useful. But he sort of halves the baby here in this pitch.
With your vote on November 5th, 2024, we're going to crush Joe Biden and the White House, that gorgeous, beautiful White House. We have to take it back. We're going to beat him at the ballot box, and we're going to settle our unfinished business. It's unfinished.
It's beautiful, magnificent. What they call it the White House. It's something. He also made the suggestion, again, correct, that the true threat to democracy in the United States is Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, who've been attempting to centralize power in the executive branch, who wish to overrun all state authority. I mean, for God's sake, they have the Department of Justice now attacking the state of Tennessee for trying to ban mutilation of children. Here was Donald Trump.
In it, he says he's running because Trump and MAGA pose a threat to democracy. Can you believe it? Got to explain. MAGA is Make America Great Again, right? No threat there. No, it's Biden who poses the threat to democracy because he is grossly incompetent, has no idea what he's doing, and basically he doesn't have a clue, and that's a very bad position to put our country in.
Okay, again, fact check true. Fact check true. By the way, Jim Vandehay of Axios is reporting now that White House officials say it's actually difficult to schedule public or private events with Joe Biden in the morning, in the evening, or on weekends. So what's left? Apparently, the vast majority of Biden's public events happen on weekdays between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. That's when he goes to sleep, and that's when he wakes up. Oh, yeah. Okay, well, that basically exhausts the good Trump for yesterday in Manchester. Again, he's a very entertaining guy. He's going to continue to be entertaining. But unfortunately, he also does, the bad Trump kind of stuff. Right? Unfortunately, he does some of this. So here's some bad Trump. He has decided that now Hillary Clinton is lovely and beautiful. But why? Because he wants to repurpose Crooked Hillary. You call it Crooked Hillary. He wants to repurpose it, as we'll see.
I will be retiring the name Crooked from Hillary Clinton and her moniker. And I'm going to give her a new name. I don't know, like maybe Lovely Hillary or Beautiful Hillary. But I'm going to retire the name Crooked so that we can use the name for Joe Biden, because he'll be known from now on as Crooked Joe Biden.
As Crooked Joe. That's what. His nickname game is off. I got to just say it. Ron DeSanctimonious is a bad nickname. Crooked Joe is a bad nickname. What? I guess he doesn't want to reuse Sleepy Joe because he already exhausted the possibilities on Sleepy Joe. But Crooked Joe, I mean, again, Crooked Hillary was pretty good branding. I need yeah, exactly. Somebody is suggesting bent Biden. I don't know. That's pretty British. He's bent. But there's got to be something better than that. Crooked Joe. Okay, but I also love that he's now trying to rehabilitate Hillary Clinton. This is the thing about Trump. It's why people love him. It's also why people hate him. He has no principles at all when it comes to which angle he's going to attack from. As I said, all the way back in 2016, he's the guy you didn't want to fight in high school, not because he was an amazing fighter, but because you never knew whether he was just carrying a brick in his backpack, right? You were just going to be having a fist fight, and suddenly he reaches in and grabs a brick and hits you with it. He's like a cartoon character, President Trump, when it comes to these fights. He's like a cartoon character who goes into his Mary Poppins bag and he takes out like a stick of dynamite, just hands it to you. You just don't know what's coming. Let's take, for example, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham doesn't know whether he's going or whether he's coming. Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina, who's been a lackey and a sycophant for President Trump for years. So I go to a Passover program down here in Florida, and President Trump very often will kind of stop by that Passover program and say hello to people. Well, a couple of years ago, he stops by with Lindsey Graham in tow, and they're going golfing, right? Because it's at one of Trump's properties. And Lindsey Graham is in tow. This is really funny. And Lindsey Graham, apparently, he comes up to the crowd, and he's like working the crowd, and he's saying like, you know, guys, we got to stop that Iran deal. We worked real hard to stop that Iran deal. And everybody starts clapping and cheering. And Donald Trump muscles in and literally pushes Lindsey Graham aside. And he says, why are you listening to Lindsey? No one cares what Lindsey has to say. It's like, President Trump. So this is the thing about, again, it's one of the reasons why people have faith that he is going to attack Joe Biden using literally anything at his disposal, because he will. I mean, he's the guy who showed up in 2016 with a bunch of Bill Clinton sexual harassment victims in tow. He is that guy. But it also means that there's no predictability as to what he's actually going to do. No one knows what's coming next. So I don't even know whether to put this in good Trump or bad Trump. It's just kind of like wild Trump. We need like a new category of wild Trump. Here he was attacking Lindsey Graham, who's like his biggest backer as a progressive, and then walking it back and talking about how awesome Lindsey Graham is. I don't know what's happening here. Do you know what's happening here? It's funny, but I don't know what's happening.
So if India charges our companies 100, we charge their companies 100. It's very simple. And yet we have people in Congress that say, no, I don't think that's good. Anybody that says that's no good, very interesting. Lindsey Graham, the progressive from South Carolina. No, he's a progressive.
Everyone's booing him.
But he's got some good things too,
but he's
okay?
good.
But Lindsey Graham, I said to him, Lindsey, you got to go along with this. We were all set to get it done. You got to go along with this. He says, so let me get this straight. If they charge us, we charge them the same thing. He said it's not his strength. Other things are his strength. He said, so they charge us, we charge them, same thing, right? Yeah, you got my vote. That's so easy.
Again, the question for who you want to run against Joe Biden is going to be this. We did this already, right? In 2020, Donald Trump did. He threw everything he could think of at Joe Biden, including the Hunter stuff, and it didn't really seem to stick to Joe Biden, mainly because there was no sense of solidity about Donald Trump as president. This is really the problem for Trump in 2020. It became a referendum on Trump, not on Biden. If you would like it to be a referendum on Joe Biden, what you need is a sense of solidity, a sense of stability. That's what the American people keep saying over and over in every single election, basically since 2016. Since 2016, every election has been, can we get back to some sense of normalcy here? Just where I don't have to think about what's going on at the top level every day. That's what people thought they were electing when they elected actual inanimate object, warmed over corpse, room temperature level corpse, Joe Biden. They thought, hey, if we elect this moldering body, nothing will happen. And then Joe Biden turned out to be, he stripped off his suit. He's like, and then he goes, it's like, hello, I'm Bunley, and I'm here. They're like, whoa, where'd that come from? And so now everybody's looking for stability and solidity. Joe Biden does not look solid. He does not look stable. He does not even look as though he is capable of answering questions in non-benighted fashion. I mean, he does not look mentally stable or physically, by the way. He might, as I've said before, watching Joe Biden walk up a flight of stairs is like watching the Wallendas cross a volcano on a tightrope. You don't know exactly what's going to come next. And the reason you watch the Wallendas is not because you're hoping they'll make it across. It's because you want to be watching if, God forbid, they don't. Joe Biden, every time he goes up Air Force One and then falls upstairs, which is nearly impossible, by the way, and he falls upstairs, you're like, I could be watching the death of a president in real time, God forbid. So all Republicans have to do is provide somebody who has the capacity to attack, but also seems somewhat stable. So that's going to be the question. Is freewheeling, I understand it's very satisfying to watch the cartoon attack, the kind of out of nowhere, let me pull out, he's going into his bag. Is he pulling out a rubber hammer or is it going to be a chainsaw? No one knows. And I understand. I'm entertained by it too. It's funny. Is it going to be successful is the question, because there is no substitute for victory. Joe Biden has the entire media on his side, the legacy media. They will not ask him tough questions. Who's going to make him answer the tough questions? Alrighty, folks, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into the mailbag. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro at checkout for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click the link in the description and join us.